What's good guys, Zennosh here, and today in this video of Exos Heroes, the main question stands: are you supposed to summon Fate Core Valentina or not? This Princess Vacation Valentina, this waifu, this babe, are you really supposed to add her to your team or not? Now, the question actually really stands at the point if you really have Fate Core Shofrakan or not. Okay, now that is the main question. If you have Shofrakan, Fate Core Valentina is definitely going to be a really fine addition to your team. That's what I have really found out so far. She's definitely going to help you out a lot, and she's also going to make a really good platform for you guys to actually check out for other units to try out in the PvP meta as well, like Baraka. Right out there, guys. You can do it as well. Because, like, when you have Fetco Valentina in your team, your opponent will be without mana for most of the turns. Right out there, starting the second round. Yes, you can actually check out my PvP test video on the Fate Core Valentina to actually see how she actually works in the PvP teams. All right, and she was not really that bad either. Right? If as long as you have Shofrakan in the team, your Valentina is gonna have easy time in whooping the ass of the opponents. All right, so there we go, guys. She's pretty good. So let's look into her skills and let's review her. First of all, let's look into her stats right away. I mean, like before that one, we can actually check out her. You know. Well, all right. Looking into that one, the most, like the thing that will actually strike your eye is definitely going to be the attack speed that is 45, which is the one of the slowest attack speed out there. Meaning, like, usually she is going to go lost during the round turns, okay? Lost in the round turns. And that means, like, starting the next round, she's gonna make sure that the opponents are gonna be stripped out of mana. Alright, and if they really don't have any mana, like the opponents are pretty much crippled really, really badly, okay? No mana meanings like you will not be having any easy time in dealing any damage against your opponents, and that's gonna be what your opponents are going to suffer when you are ripping all the mana out of them. All right, so that is the point right out there. Well, her attack is not really that bad, 1985, and with her second active skill, she can really deal some amazing amount of damage against a single target. And thanks to the Summer Blessing as well, usually she will be gaining that 50% attack boost, which is definitely going to help her out to, like, get rid of one particular unit that you really don't like right away. Maybe to remove that Tranquil Mark effect from the Fate Correra, or maybe just kill out some other unit that might actually be quite very potentially threatening to your team in the next turn. All right. So that is it. Defense is not really that bad either. 1751, that's quite good in my opinion. So there we go, guys. All right, and her HP stat is going to be 4343. Now let's look into her skills finally. All right, her second active skill is the one that is going to be the most effective one right out there, meaning, like, just look at that. Single target damage, deals 525% damage to single target. That's a lot of nuking damage, ladies and gentlemen. When it comes to be her turn, usually she will have that Summer Blessing activated, and with that 50% additional attack boost, she is really going to kill one particular opponent without any problem at all. You have to consider that in your math, okay? And she's a chaotic unit. She's made to deal damage, okay? Contempt, mana burn, 10 mana, all enemies afflicted with the Fear of Abyss. If the target is afflicted with Fear of Abyss and Bind, all enemies for 7 turns can be removed as well. Meaning, like, during the bind, the opponents will be unable to gain any excess mana. So there we go, guys. For 7 turns, they are pretty much like really worthless, useless, man. Something like that, okay? They are pretty stuck to their basic attack, and they are not really that much of a like a terror anymore, unless they are first guardian units. First thing, because of their Dragon Wrath and the Dragon Blood stacks, things can really get out of hand sometimes. But if you can really know how to manage that situation, oh my god, Fetco Valentina can be a really great addition to your team right off the bat. Man, she can really take care of a certain unit right away. That's pretty much really good thing about her, okay? And her first active skill is pretty good as well. It's right on the target. It only costs 1 mana, but you really don't need to spam her first skill whatsoever. You know why? She is really slow. She actually goes last in the round. And when it comes to be her turn, she actually has already stacked a lot of mana that she will always be able to use her second active skill every freaking time. And definitely you are gonna always use this one, alright? There will never be a time that you are supposed to use her first active skill, okay? But anyways, if somehow you manage to use this first active skill, don't try to use it against the Dragon Blood hero units, because the dot effect right over there might actually be quite helpful in building up the Dragon Blood stacks on them, alright? The damage is not really that bad. 150% damage to single target is pretty good. And Contempt, it has mana burn, 10 mana, all enemies afflicted with the fear of abyss. If the target is afflicted with fear of abyss, I really don't know what kind of grammar is that, but hey, the English translator of this game really needs to learn some English. And bind all enemies for 7 turns and can't be removed. Okay, so there we go, guys. All right, and that's pretty good. That's pretty good. But I would say, second active skill will always be on demand, okay? I mean, like, it will always be available for you guys to spam right away, no problem at all. And it actually is capable of ripping the soul out of a certain opponent right away. Now, finally, when it comes to a passive skill effect, oh wow, okay, yeah, right over there. So she is going to remove the buff of an enemy, okay? If there is any kind of buff being, like happening around, she's going to remove the buff of an enemy whenever she's attacking, all right? And then Flap Flap has this effect that whenever she has removable buff, recovery, or positive effect applied, she is actually going to imbue modification for 3 turns on a single target, okay? So there we go, guys. Like, let's say if that unit is not Fate Corera, just think about it. If there is another certain unit that really doesn't have that status effect immunity, right? That opponent is going to turn into a Flap Flap fish or something like that, okay? This is just going to transform them right away. Think about it, man. It's a really good effect right over there, because like most of the time when it comes to be her turn, she's always going to have some really good buff on her, okay? Summer Blessings. Special, when the battle starts, grant the first damage immunity to all allies. That's definitely going to be quite helpful in your team. And increases the target's attack by 50% for 9 turns when the first damage immunity effect is removed. Thanks to the Fate Core battery that's being used all the time in the PvP content, you are definitely going to receive this 50% attack boost most of the time in a very constant manner, okay? So no worries about that one. And with that 50% attack boost, definitely you will be able to rip the soul out of a certain opponent right away. You can rip him apart one by one, okay? Thanks to this second active skill. Wow, just think about it, man. Think about it. She is definitely going to cripple the opponent starting the second round. The first round, definitely the opponents will not be able to do anything, right? Because like they really need the time to build up mana. Second round, they will have no mana at all, thanks to the Fate Core Valentina, if she stays alive. And if she still stays alive in the last turn of the round 2, in the round 3, still the opponents are not gonna have any mana at all. Think about it, man. You're really crippling down the opponents, and definitely it can actually have a really good impact on how the definition of PvP meta is right now. Okay, so definitely is the S tier unit for me, and depending upon the situation, she might actually even move up. Okay, she is a little bit tricky to use, so that is a little bit problem out there. But if you really know how to use her right, I think she can always give you a really big smile on your face. Okay, because seeing your opponent manaless, having no mana at all, and they are really crippled down to use their only basic attack, it's really fun to watch. Really fun to watch, okay? And yes, it might actually be not really that viable in the PvP defense, but when it comes to PvP offense, when you are attacking your opponents, right, it's definitely a really fun to watch thing, okay? And when it comes to PvP defense, later on, you can actually just set up your team right again so that your defending team is much better than compared to the normal case scenario, right? And that is the thing. And the next thing that you also need to consider is that the PvP content, or let's say the Japanese turn here in this game, is a little bit suspense type, meaning you really don't know what your opponent actually has, okay? Your opponent is actually selected in random, and then when you are going to fight against him, you cannot even actually change your team except for the PvP tag teams, which is also not really that, like, I mean, like, it's something else. It's something else. But when it comes to PvP 1 versus 1 matches, like, it's pretty RNG right out there when it comes to like enemy selection. So I mean, like, I really don't think like you are actually going to suffer a lot if you have Fedco Valentina in your team. You're not going to actually suffer, like, let's say, saying like that. People are really saying that, oh, if you're actually choosing Fedco Valentina, try having the best of luck to make her survive till the end of the round. All right, and I was like, what's a big deal in that? Oh, what's gonna be a problem with that? I mean, like, the RNG of the opponent needs to be really sharp that the Fedco Valentina will be targeted and she will be knocked out. And only the Fedco Raider, usually in the current meta, has that ability to knock her out in the first turn. And what are the chances for the Fedco Raider of the opponent's side to target the Fedco Valentina? I mean, like, on top of that one, if you Fedco Valentina can pretty much block the attack coming from the Fedco Raider, she will still survive as well. She's not really that easy to knock out, in my opinion. Okay, so there we go. So those are my own opinions and reactions, insights, whatever that you call it. Okay, I would really love to hear out what your insights really are regarding this Fedco Valentina. Do you think like is she really summonable, pullable, recruitable, or what not? Okay, but I would say as long as you have Shofraken, please do summon her. If you don't have Sufraken, I would say still summon her. Okay, and you can get Shufraken later on as well. I mean, like, compared to before, we have now National Recruit ticket right over there, guys, which is actually going to provide us this Faded Hero Selection ticket that actually contains the generals. This ticket right over here, guys, ladies and gentlemen, this ticket, a special Faded Hero Selection ticket that's going to allow you to select between these generals right over there, and the Shufraken is one of them. Okay, it's not going to be really that impossible task right now to actually get this Shufraken. Okay, just try to get a little bit quite active in the national recruitment. That's what I really have to say to you guys. All right, that's all I have to say to you. Like, in due time, definitely you are gonna get Shofraken, and having that 0.5% drop rate of the Fedco Valentina as of now, you would really want to take advantage of that one. So many players have already reported that they have been quite lucky to get the Fedco Valentina within their first summon, maybe like their fourth summon, and 10th summon, or maybe 12th summon, or something like that. Okay, so there we go. Try your luck out. She's not something that you would say that like she's totally useless. And the another thing is that like she is finally a very good unit after so many useless batches out there, and you never know what kind of other stupid batches of heroes units are gonna come next on as well, and you might actually get bored with this game as well. Think about it. She might actually be a really good escape out from this old boredom. Like, try to actually look out for other meta teams. Definitely, I'm going to try out different teams in the PvP content from now onwards, thanks to Fedco Valentina. Alright? Maybe instead of Fedco Rera, now I will be starting to use Jin or maybe Baraka. Think about it, man. Think about it. I'm actually starting to see some scope on the Baraka and then Jin, because, like, if you can really start bursting out the opponents, and the opponents are always going to be mana-less. They will not have any mana starting the next round, and they are going to be mana-binded. I mean, like, it's going to be too easy for you to pick off the opponents one by one. Think about it, man. So those are the other, like, sort of like insights that I have. Obviously, I will be coming up with the videos to prove my theory. If my theories are not right, then obviously I will be apologizing at that point as well. Okay, I might actually be saying that like, oh, these are the reasons why my theories were not really right on the point, and they might actually like, these are the ways that how they actually failed and stuff like that. But I think they are actually gonna hit the target. You can actually check out my PvP test video on the Fedco Valentina for some really good proofs out there as well, and I think she actually did really well. Okay, and definitely she is some really good relief to my heart that she's a babe. She's a real waifu. Look at her, the way she jiggles, man. Okay, that is it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to keep on enjoying the content of my channel. See you guys in the next video.